too long. I'll be back. Actually, that's better. All right. Not that anybody needs to see me. My first live stream with a fully operational shop. Now officially Goshen Guitar Works and Electronics. Read the bio, tell you what we do, but this is my first resurrection. Cheap guitar I bought yesterday. This one cost me $40. Been just laying around somewhere. It's a Jasmine. Everybody knows who plays what they are, made by Takamine. This is a, I forgot which model it is. Let me get my light and my glasses. Hang on, people. That's $35. It's less than a $200 guitar. Anyway, got it. It was a mess, complete mess. Neck was a disaster. Strings are wound on backwards. But body's in good shape. Sounds good, even with the crap. Let's see what it sounds like here. I had one of these. I love the Dreadnought body and how deep it is. I'm not into bright. That's why I'm a Gibson guy. So anyway, let's tear her down and see if we can't bring her back to life. Playing the right way. Another one of these, I say it all the time, a lot of people say, don't cut the strings. Makes it so much easier. Just cut the strings. Everybody's different. Just don't wind them up with the legs. 1, 2. Man, she's dirty. Oh man, delock it. Yep. 3. Caca. God, these are gross. All right. We're going to give her the royal treatment. Everything. I'm sure these haven't been out for a while. One thing I don't have. A fake puller. Well, I'm going to do it the hard way then. Let me go get my angle pliers. And a piece of cardboard. I don't do a lot of acoustics. I didn't expect to buy this one. So I'm not really outfit for them. But something this cheap. Not really concerned. Anybody that's popping in from my previous life, harness racing, I'm going to talk about a few of the things that have been going on through over the last week or so. First, anyone questioning that the videos are not real when it comes to that horse that Ray Schnicker was training? I was there, and all I can say is New York State Gaming has gotten involved. What they decide to do or what they do or what We know they're in their jurisdiction because Goshen is funded by the New York State, partially Department of Agriculture. And they also oversee their Grand Circuit. You must be licensed to, and the testing and rules are done through the New York State Gaming like any other racetrack, which they brag about, which is good because then they can be held accountable by the Gaming Commission. But either way, that horse, it was not only it wasn't bad enough the first trip, but he went out again 6 days later in a bike, forced that animal to train that way. And I'm seeing people make excuses for this clown of how he's trying to blow out a pus pocket. He's hitting his knee. You people are insane. But I will say, for the most part, the vast majority agrees that horse is lame. And we'll see what happens. The Bourgault thing, Mr. Bourgault has to be back July 7th. That kind of already fizzled away like everything else because everybody just wants to stick their head in the sand. And this other thing with Bartlett, I can tell you from personal experience and knowing him as well as I do, who did it. Jason Bartlett won't grab a horse for any reason unless he's and trying to make the case that the horse was running in or whatever. The horse was squirrely, not even near anybody. And as he's tapping him after he ran in on him, and he's tapping him on the right side, why wouldn't he have reached over if he was concerned with him running in? Instead of continuing to hit him on the right side when the horse is running in, straightens him up, he's going forward, actually got his nose out to second as the favorite. And then you can see him look over, and I'm not making any accusation what the reason was, but I have never, ever, ever, since 2007 and watching that kid, man, drive, ever within 50 yards of the wire, do this and literally lay straight back in the bike with his hands back by almost behind his back again. It doesn't make any sense. None. I'm not going to I've got some theories, but I'm going to keep them to myself. I got the word in as well as others yesterday, and we know that it's being looked at by Mr. Seagreaves, who now is the lead investigator for New Jersey. And from what I was told that night at the Meadowlands, he was not called in. So that tells me already that the presiding judge is useless to not even want to know. Whether it was later, I don't know. Nobody knows. But there are a lot of people who are sick and tired, pissed off. And if it's for a reason that I suspect, I feel sorry for my former friend. Because it's things that I warned him about long ago. I've seen him, that's why I posted the video of the race last year at Yonkers, where when he gets it in his head that he's going to get through, Jason will he's pretty safe. Unless it's someone that pissed him off. But I've seen him thread through spots with a race bike that on rides home, I look at him, I go, you just fucking unbelievable. You scared? I don't know how to do it. And he would laugh. And he had a name for it, the wiggle or whatever. But he got caught a couple of times inside the pylons or knocking over a pylon. And he did it a lot at Tioga, but it was the bike scoot. That's what whatever he called it. And he could take the bike and time it perfectly to throw the bike in the infield between pylons and come back out as he cleared the other bike. That, you can't teach that. And that's what used to impress me about him. As drivers go, in my opinion, easily the best half-mile track driver on the planet. And he's starting to really figure out the big track. Having certain accounts that I'm not going to get into this here doesn't hurt either. But like we used to say, and he used to say too. It's nice to have the power, but you also got to drive them. And I've seen other guys drive his horses when he's been on days and absolutely just wreck them because they think the horses are just a bottomless pit and the gas tank is never goes empty. He knows how to properly use the horses. And it's nice to have a second or two still in the tank when you're done. So that's that. Harness racing is a disaster. The only reason people come at me so hard and hate my guts so bad is I know the truth and I'm not afraid to talk about it. They've lost control with me, and that's why I also posted on that harness forum tonight what happened with my friend Dave in New Jersey, who, unbeknownst to all of you, I've been speaking with almost since last summer when I was at Dreamland, and now Nathan showed up at Dreamland. You can have disagreements, and then you find out where it really came from and work it out. Realize you're on the same team. And another thing, not only control, I was talking about how the clowns in harness racing, the powers that be, use fear and also divide and conquer, turn friends against each other, kind of like what happened with Jason and I. But he decided to flip, and whatever. They did it with Dave and I too. And we never had really any bad words. And you look back and you're like, wow, we were stupid. So like I got him on the phone tonight and I said, I'm doing it. I'm going on. I'm telling the story completely now. And he goes, I'm going to see the Allman Brothers. I got a ticket. But it was funny. I said, I'm granting you, I'm typing your absolution into Horseplop. He was cracking up. So I thought about other things, how and I hope he hears some of this stuff. My former friend, Mr. Bartlett. I hope every time he goes in his basement, he remembers who for years kept saying, it's time, you deserve it, let's finish this basement. Who designed that basement, who framed that basement, who sheetrocked that basement. And I'll never forget my friend. If anybody knew Jason before he finished the basement at his house, he used to have a red pool table. I just thought of this today too. And one day I go there after the basement was finished and he was building a new bar in the basement. He was having it hand built. It's beautiful. And I noticed as I'm walking through, the red pool table is gone. And I say something. Where's the fucking pool table? And this I did for him years ago when I said, you have nothing. And he was at the races. And I found it on Craigslist. Red felt. Couldn't believe it. It was literally in his colors. 7-foot table, I think it was. Yeah, 7-foot table. Rack. It had the cue rack for the wall. Everything was perfect. Had everything. Right down to chalk. I bought it. Joe Chandano Sr. and I went and picked it up. I called Chrissy. I told her, I said, listen, don't tell him he's at the race. When he gets home, he always freak out about little things. Tell him there's a leak in the basement or some shit. She was laughing. And he did. And he came back up, teary-eyed. This is what I was told. I won't go into too deep. And he called me. He goes, I can't believe you. I said, why? That's what friends do. And I hope he fucking remembers that. Because he was there for me and I was there for him as friends. And we rarely ever talked about harness racing. Rarely. And I was always happy for him. But to show you again, and I don't blame him. He's got his own things going on, things I didn't know about because of what happened. And, really did piss me off that he would ask me to back off certain scumbags in harness racing. And I'm not going to keep repeating it. But he's got, the money he makes, $600,000-$700,000 a year. That's a lot of reasons to, If we never spoke again, so he had to protect himself and his family, so be it. But don't threaten me. And that's where he crossed the fucking line. And the other day, like I said, I know him and how he is about driving and racing and winning, and he's not the same as he was. And he's got his reasons too. But what we saw the other night of him at the Meadowlands in that race is not him. Something doesn't add up. We'll see, I guess. All right, so back to this. We're going to do let me see if this neck can be straightened. I straightened it pretty good by eye. It's way better. Now what you got to do is, that's for the fret side, that's for the board side. There's a little bit of a rock there. Let's check the frets. Put that on there. Where's my light that's on my head? I want to see if there's any light. Got it pretty damn straight. So I'm not going to mess with it. I actually started to feel that truss rod getting a little loose. I want to have some tension on it. So that's as good as I'm going to let as it can get. I tell you what, it was a friggin' noodle when I got it. Pretty damn straight. I'm not going to do anything. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go over these frets with the file, clean them up. I think I got to mark them.